Welcome to In The Zone. Wow, we've had fantastic feedback since our very first edition. Keep those comments coming in. On this show, we're going to Wesper, Wirral Elite Sports Performance Academy, a fantastic sports programme being launched in 2015, exclusively for Wirral youngsters with the ambition of being sporting stars. I caught up with Neil Parsley, who's the head of performance, and I had a quick chat to ex-Irish rugby international, whom I know particularly well. Later on in the show, I'll be talking exclusively with Ella Wilkinson, Great Britain trampolinist. Ella's just competed in the World Championships in sunny Florida. I'll be talking to her about her experiences. We've also got Ella competing against the elements in the In The Hole Celeb Challenge. And finally, we'll have our 60-second sporting roundup. So stay tuned. Now to Wesper. Tell me all about Wesper from your point of view.
Great. Well, being from the Wirral, I think there's always been lots of good sportsmen and sportswomen coming from the Wirral. There's never really been anything like this from a performance side of things that can really take the people who are gifted and talented, take them to another level at the right age. Because if you do it when they're 18 plus, it's a lot of wasted years. Whereas now, if we get them when they're young, between 12 and 16, really get hold of them, we can take them, to the professional ranks.
What do you think Wesper can do to take athletes to the next level? The disciplines that they're doing here in the gym, very different to the fitness first of the world.
Just everything with elite sportsmen, sportswoman in mind. We're going to look at the strength and conditioning. We're going to look at the psychology. We're going to look at the nutrition. We're going to look at the physiology. So we're going to look at all these integral parts that if you look at all the top athletes in the world, they all have a team of this sort of performance team wrapped around them. So that's exactly what we're going to do here on the Wirral.
You're actually coaching the England team at the moment?
As a strength and conditioning consultant, heading into the World Cup, being involved with the senior team, which is really good.
So I've been watching here one of your sessions with one of the young budding scholars that might be coming onto the programme. Annabelle, would you like to come say hello? What do you think she has to really focus on, 16 years of age?
Well, we want to make sure the foundation's right. Okay, so she's going to play a lot of netball, in the next probably 10, 12, 15 years. We've got to make sure she's got the right foundation so her body's not going to break down. That's what we found. A lot of the elite athletes nowadays, they're playing such a high volume of sport that we need to make sure that their body's bulletproofed and ready to take the volume of training and competition.
And Annabelle, that was quite an incredible session that we saw you pushing all sorts of iron and steel. You enjoy these sessions?
Yeah, it's really good.
You're looking forward to 2015. What is it about netball that you're really looking to drive?
I want to play for England and I want to be the best.
With all your work at school and club, is something like this going to really give you the drive to be the best?
Yeah, because it fits in really well with school. For
somebody like me who's been involved in sport as well, coming in here is, I've never seen anything like it before, but I can understand some of the things we're looking at are fantastic for athletes coming forward. Take me to one of the stations and we can have a little have a little look.
Anything you do, anything we do on the suspension trainers, basically utilise. So if you're doing some kind of pulling exercise, rather than just sitting on a machine in a gym doing a pulling exercise, we're actually going to engage the core. So when we're pulling, it's working the full body.
Will the likes of Chris Robshaw be doing these sort of training?
It's a little bit different, but prowlers, we use the prowler here, we use the sleds, kettlebells, the sledgehammer and the tyre.
And one thing that struck me were the monkey bars over here. Now, of course, we know what monkey bars do because, of course, we see them in playgrounds. What will an athlete get out of the monkey bars?
Grip's huge. Doing whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to go laterally, you're going to go up and down. There's lots. We hang a lot of things off the monkey bars as well, the suspension straps, etc. But you can do pull-ups, etc. on them. So yeah, for grip strength, pulling strength, perfect for preventing shoulder injuries. We use the boxing for lots of different sports, just as a good conditioning tool. There's nothing better than getting your heart rate up for doing 20, 30 seconds, etc. Good hard boxing, have a bit of a rest, go again. So mainly it's a conditioning tool, obviously.
And obviously it's interesting, Wesper, obviously covering all sports on the Wirral. There isn't a gym in town that doesn't have Olympic weights. That was a bit energetic, was it not?
Yeah. It's good at that. So, young cricketer, lateral movement, obviously change of direction, massively important at the end of the crease. So, this is sort of the drill we've been working on recently and working really well at it.
And Armin, you're a bowler.
Opening bat with bowler, yeah.
And how are you finding these exercises? How long have you been doing them first with Neil?
I'm doing them about 2 months, and yeah, it's helped a lot. I'm bowling a lot quicker, and I can keep fitness higher in the field and when I bat.
And how often do you do these sessions, Armand?
Twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, yeah.
Right, and so it's a big commitment, and that does work with school, and it works with cricket nets.
Yeah, it does. I do my stuff most days after school. Yeah, it's quite tough.
So I understand from Neil, you are going to be one of the identified potential scholarships for the Wesper programme. Is that something you'd look forward to doing?
Yeah, it would be good to do that, yeah.
Super. So Neil, Armand, I think potentially is a star of the future.
Yeah, definitely works really hard. He's coming on really, really well.
If we can have a little wander over, and we'll have a little look at these weights now. Yeah. Obviously, lifting weight is a major part of conditioning now.
Yeah.
But I'd obviously stress the levels of weights must be supervised, I would have thought.
What we call a training age. So depending on how much training you've done, there'll be various different levels of exercise you will do, especially for the younger sort of kids who come here. We have people coming from 8 years of age here. They wouldn't go straight into on the Olympic bars, etc.
And how do schools play a part with Wesper?
Yeah, that's massive. We're after the schools to put forward the guys who've got the talent. So we need them to identify the talents and come to us.
If there was one objective for Wesper, what would that be, long term?
To have an Olympic or world champion developed through the programme.
Stu, what have we got going on here?
We have got a rugby player from Coldy Rugby Club, and we're just going through a sort of a strength and conditioning programme that I've written for him, and just making sure he's sort of comfortable with all the exercises he's doing in the programme, really. Yeah.
And if I can have a quick look as he's coming down there, now if we drop down, that is some distance he's jumping there, Stu.
It's 1 metre. It's 1 metre. So we've got the box on the lower part of the box, which is 60 centimetres, and then this one's 40. That'll do, John. Thanks. So that's 1 metre altogether. Jumping's a skill in my eyes. So if you learn a skill, you've got to earn the right to overload that skill. So it's all about the movement first, starting off low, making sure they're comfortable with the skill element of the movement, and then sort of looking at more explosiveness, being able to produce more force through the floor, and being able to have good form whilst catching the jump as well. One thing's good being explosive off the floor, but you've got to learn how to control your body on that catch, because there's a lot of forces going through the joints.
And these are exciting times because, of course, Wesper's launching in 2015.
But I think that people need to be aware of what facilities are around them. For me, if you look at countries like America and Australia, they have a lot of investment in youth development. And here in England, we don't have as much as them. So if people are aware of what facilities they have around them, what that can give them, and sort of contribute towards their overall athletic performance, then that's going to be great. And it's onwards and upwards, really, yeah.
Christian, you came through a system where it was natural in your day, and as it was in my day. We came through as natural players. A training programme at this level with Neil as a head of performance, what do you think that will do for the children coming through with budding ambitions of being international rugby players, netball players, whatever it may be?
Well, obviously for any sport you play nowadays, you have to be an athlete through and through. So it's not just your specific sport of rugby. In my case, you need good balance, you need good speed, you need good power, and that goes through all the sports. So having the facility like this where you can develop these skills is going to be of huge benefit.
If it's in the blood and they want to be the best, I suppose they've got to follow a certain pathway to a degree. Schools push them. But something Wesper, which is the Wirral Elite Sports Performance Academy here, is there to identify future talent. Somebody like Neil Parsley, who you do know very well. Has Neil got what it takes to help the Wirral students take them to where they want to be?
I think he stood over there, so if I say anything other than absolutely, then I'm in big trouble. No, I mean, Neil's a proven performer, and he's worked with the best, and he's taken them to the very top of their respective sports, so having Neil involved is going to be a huge asset.
And playing for Ireland, tell our viewers exactly, in your mind, how that felt when you got that first cap running out at Lansdowne Road.
Oh, it's an absolutely unbelievable feeling. Any sportsman at any age dreams of competing at the pinnacle of the sport, and playing Five Nations as it was in my day was that. So absolutely amazing feeling running out and seeing the huge crowd and the emotion, and it was just a day I'll never forget.
Stay tuned for part 2. we've got our exclusive interview with Ella Wilkinson, we've got our Celeb Golf Challenge, and then we've got our 60-second sporting news roundup. Welcome back. Well, Ella, I'm so pleased you've been able to come onto the show. Been dying to ask you all these questions. Had a long conversation with your mum. Proud as one can be. The first one, importantly, is how did you get into trampolining?
Well, I used to compete another form of gymnastics called tumbling, and I had a few friends from there who went to a trampolining club, and I went along with them one time and really enjoyed it and thought I'd give it a go.
And how old were you then when that happened? Because you're 14 now, of course.
Yeah, I've been trampolining DMT for 2 years now, so when I was 12, 11.
I understand that the trampolining that you use is not the one that's standard, the round or the square one that we all know. Tell me a little bit about the difference.
It kind of relates to the vault in artistic gymnastics, where you'd have a run-up. As for flatbed trampolining's when you compete 10 skills on the spot.
So you've actually just come back from Florida.
Yeah.
You've just been in the World Championships.
Yeah.
To say you've been in the World Championships must be fantastic, and all your school friends must think, wow. So what was it like, A, to go to Florida, and B, to experience World Championships at 14?
It was amazing. It was my first international competition and I really enjoyed it. I've always really wanted to go to America as it's one of my dream destinations, and it was amazing to compete with loads of different countries, and I hope to get used to it and in the future compete in a few more.
Tell us a little bit how you did finally finish.
I came 11th.
Where do you see yourself being in 2015? What are you looking to achieve?
Well, I'm hoping to improve further for next year anyway. I feel as if I could have competed a bit better just to push myself a bit further into the ranking, but I'm still very happy with my performance. In 2015 I moved into the 15-16 age category, and the competition is a bit harder, so I'm going to have to work towards more skills and improving on my neatness.
You're a fantastic GB trampolinist, but you've actually just got into athletics, and a little bird tells me that you're long jumping close to a GB level already. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I've always enjoyed athletics and I've always wanted to give it a go, and in the summer I decided that I'd start at Liverpool Harriers, and I've really enjoyed it since then, and I'm hoping to improve for the future as well.
Wow, so you could really be a double sporting champion in the not so distant future.
Yeah, well, I am hoping for the future that my long jump and triple jump may be successful, as well as my DMT, and I'm hoping to reach my peak in it and do my best.
So you go to West Kirby Grammar for Girls on the Wirral. Obviously your friends must be so pleased to have a world champion competitor and a GB trampolinist in their group. How do you work your school with your training and your competing?
Well, I fit my homework and my revision around training time, so on a Sunday I'd do all my homework and then in weekdays I'd revise for my tests. But it's not much of a hassle, but I do get it done in time.
Wow, you've got it all sussed out, I think, haven't you? Well, listen, it's been fantastic for you to come onto the show. I've thoroughly enjoyed your company and asking you the questions.
Thank you.
Obviously, we had a great afternoon in the climates of the winter of the UK, and we played some golf, and you were the second celeb on the challenge. I'd like to show you how that went now. You enjoyed the day?
Yeah.
Great. So we're at the Champion Adventure Golf, and what a day it is. It's windy, it's raining, but of course we've got our celebs who are going to be out here and are going to be pushing the barriers in every way they can. I've got with me Nick. Now Nick is our adjudicator for the day. Tell me, what are you looking for from the golfers, firstly?
Well, what we've done is we've picked the hardest hole on the course. It is the card-wrecking hole on the course. Yeah, there are plenty of hole-in-ones that do happen on this hole, usually more by luck than judgment, but it is possible to get that ball on the green and in the hole in one shot. Anything that gets anywhere near par for that hole, which is 3 shots, would be amazing, especially in today's conditions, which are very linksy. It's very windy and very wild down here today.
So there you go. Expectations from Nick. This is going to be a tricky one, but we're all looking forward to it. We're going to have a bit of fun and laughter. Now, this is very different to trampolining, of course. And you practiced before, and I heard that you actually hit the pin on the hole.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that.
And I wonder if our cameraman got that on the film, because that could have been a hole-in-one for the show.
Yeah.
So what you got to do, we're going to get you ready, and you've got 8. Danny Mellor last week got 8 in the hole. So you got to beat 8. Okay, you confident?
Yeah.
Ella, that was absolutely fantastic. You just hit 5 shots. Now, if I remember rightly, Danny Mellor last week took 8. How do you feel about that, Ella?
I'm pleased with my performance.
When she came down, she was a little bit nervous at the top, and I noticed she was practicing a lot. But fantastic result for her. I'm sure she's going to be really thrilled with that.
I think so as well, yeah. She coped well with the conditions. She's just got back from Florida, so she's done really well.
Just come back from the World Championships, yeah? So winning the In the Hole Celeb Challenge for the In the Zone show, how would that make you feel?
Pretty good.
Okay, so you're second in so far. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I was a young girl who wanted to play netball, and there was nowhere to go, so I never played. I went back to it at the age 22, 23. So looking at the performance side of it, but also in an activity way, I had 4 or 5 years of being completely inactive, and that from a sport point of view, you struggle then to get people back into sport. So I think what's exciting about it is making sport high profile, giving the kids something to aspire to and think, yeah, I can do that, but making it easy for them and giving them that pathway. What are the barriers to it, and digging down on what stops females getting involved. And I think that what comes across from what Wesper's going to offer is that all-around package, looking after them as an athlete and looking at athlete development, not just a number on a spreadsheet somewhere.
But as an advisory board member and children and schools applying for scholarships, what are you looking for, in particular the girls, let's just say, what are you looking for in applications?
I think for me, that real sort of commitment and passion, and it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be hard work, and knowing that they are going to get to the point of having to be really focused but wanting to learn. I think sometimes when you've got, and this is a bit sweeping statement, but you've got a strong athlete, when they've been in that comfortable school environment, they've always excelled, and it's taken them out of that and saying, yeah, you are very good, but you can be excellent. I think a great goal would be kind of a pathway opportunity for whatever level, so enhancing, I think, not specifically under Wesper, but enhancing the community offer, but giving them something to work towards so they know, so that we've got then an ideal vision for me would be academies under each sport, so looking at whatever sport, it might be that we start off with top 4, top 5, work through to 10, but looking at an academy structure in the Wirral that will give young people that chance to excel.
You can come to a place like Wesper, you can come as a raw athlete and go away being a Team Sky rider in 3-4 years.
Exactly.
And we had this conversation with Team England for volleyball.
Yeah.
So Wesper really is going to change almost the landscape of elitism on the Wirral.
Definitely, yeah. And I think I'll use the word a lot, but it's that aspiration as well. In a world where money's drying up, aspiration is very low, and a lot of pressure, and our young people are suffering a little bit off the back of that.
Very exciting times. I almost wish I was young again.
Me too.
Now for the 60-second sports roundup. Tranmere Rovers boss Mickey Adams says he was frustrated to see his side lose 2-0 at Burton Albion on Boxing Day, but felt an early decision proved pivotal. Wallaceian District Sunday League. Millhouse are pushing hard to take the Premier Division title, with previous champions Liscard Bronze not giving up on retaining their crown, but the main contenders are Great Float SNS, who are second and who are also fighting on Cheshire and Wirral FA fronts in search of success. Liverpool heavyweight David Price says, "I could have gone off the rails, but I'm now in the shape of my life." Price says he is ready to return to fight in Liverpool, the scene of his devastating back-to-back defeats at the hands of Tony Thompson in 2013. And finally, Liverpool boxer Nathan Brow says he is ready to emerge from the shadows of the light welterweight division after winning the Central Area title. The former amateur star is now targeting major fights in 2015. And that's the end of our sporting roundup.
Hey!
Is that okay? Sadly, that's all we've got time for on the show. So until next time, stay in the zone.